Take your shoes off at the door, yeah, we getting real. Talking all the things they say you shouldn't feel. From locker room truths to capitalize. Fed your secrets to the questions, schools disguise. Shoes off, lean in, take a breath, take a seat. Where the truth walks free and the raw minds meet. No filters, no front, just the heart of the talk. Welcome to the space where the brave ones walk. Religion and redemption, business and the hustle. Life hits hard, we unpack the struggle. Mental health, money, trauma, and dreams. Peeling back layers till the silence screams. Politics in the air, sports in the veins. Educated minds, talking love and pain. No cap, no script, just truth with spark. It's a shoes off talk, where we leave that mark. Shoes off, lean in, take a breath, take a seat. Where the truth walks free and the raw minds meet.
We are back in the building.
Yes, sir.
Another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Blessed and appreciative for God allowing us to see another day that was not promised. We just want to thank our viewing audience for giving us an inkling of your time. We appreciate your love and support. Floyd, how's your week going so far?
Oh, man, it's going great so far, man. I just love this day off. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like, man.
The energy is different with you, Floyd, on your days off.
Oh, my gosh.
This is Floyd. This is Floyd on a non-day off. Hey, Floyd, how's your day going? Man, yeah, it's going good. But I'm thankful. But yeah, it's going good. Yeah, when y'all hear Floyd's energy up, that means that he's off. It's his day off.
Sir.
It's his day off.
It's a good day. It's a good day. How about you, Tim? What's going on?
You know what? I'll say it and I'll keep saying it, and I know it sounds repetitive, but I'm so thankful for any additional day that God give me, because I understand how precious life and time is, and I know that there's people that didn't make it to see this day.
Right.
So I'm gonna always rejoice and be glad in it. Is that saying that life is great all the time? No, it's not. But how I always say this as well: your worst day is somebody's best day. And there's people that would pay and give to be in your horrible situation, as most of us would call it. So I'm always thankful. But yeah, we all going through it.
That's right.
This day and age. And
Yes,
so
sir.
it does no good for us to complain about our situation, because it could be a lot worse. The more you complain, the less you take action in changing it. It's crazy because today's topic was actually changed on my way here, actually. And it was just put on my heart to talk about this particular topic. But the topic that we were going to select, it was Floyd, remind me what it was again?
Black men.
Black men in the fourth quarter. And so we speak on things that we have some knowledge on, and we're not saying that our commentary is Bible, by no means. We're just giving our views and our perspective on certain subject matter, and how it affects either the people that we know, what we see, how it affects us personally. But this is not Bible, and by no means are we talking about the whole. We're talking about, those few that don't have a voice, or those few that we've been able to share and get information from. So whenever we talk about a subject, it's not necessarily talking about the world as a whole. So I just wanted to make that clear. But Black Men in the Fourth Quarter is something I decided that I wanted to sit down with a panel of Black men and get different perspectives. I think with that title being so broad, it's something that we definitely need to elaborate on and get some, like I said, get some different perspectives. So what we're going to do is we postpone that topic because I want to have a sit down with a group of Black men and, and just see what they feel about it and what that means to them. I think it was important to do that. So, but today's topic, I've been encountering a lot. Like I said, it was put on my heart to talk about it today. And a lot of times whenever that happens, there's somebody that is teeter-tottering with making a decision that is going to affect them immensely. And so sometimes all you need to hear is that word of encouragement to let you know that it's okay to take that leap of faith.
Right.
And so that's why that was on my heart. Floyd, when you hear fear of change, what comes to mind for you?
Well, for me, I would say the unknown, the fear of failure, the fear of losing control. It draws down to that nervous tick that just don't know what's in stake, what's in front of me. It gets to a point that I am now at a mindset of what is to come. I don't know how it's going to turn out, and it's just that fear of, just like I say, just not knowing, the unknown.
Yeah. And that it encompasses all of that. So you're spot on with that. And all of that contributes to the inability to make change. It's especially rapid. It's that's something that the Black community knows a lot about, just because of all the changes that we have gone throughout the centuries, throughout generations. I think if there was a group of people that was well suited and more adapted for change, it's Black people. Just because our lives differ from day to day, from hour to hour, second to second. And there and along with that comes a healthy fear, because we have been adapting to change for so long. I think when we find that comfort zone, we kind of settle into it, because we kind of understand that once we get out of that zone where we feel comfortable, it's almost like we make ourselves vulnerable.
Well, I mean, one thing about it, though, you have to look at it. It's we go into adaptability of, as soon as we get that change and we start going through that process, our mindset's now saying, okay, now we're good. But at the same time, we still have to have that mindset of knowing that another change is going to come. We still have to have the mindset of every day of your life, it's not going to be peaches and cream. You're going to have changes throughout your life. Changes is I would say change is the norm.
And that's in all honesty, that's really how you have to look at it. You have to look at the fact that there's so many things and people relying on you. And with you having the inability to be okay with change, means that you're not only holding yourself back, you're holding the people that are dependent on you, whether it's that you're a father, whether you're a community leader, whether you're a leader in your own arenas as far as your job and different things, is your inability to want to change affects people as a whole, including yourself. The thing that I think it affects most is your mindset.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Because if you don't have the ability to be accepting to change, you start getting tunnel vision, and you don't really see the big picture. And the big picture is what's going to happen not only in your lifetime, but what's going to happen in a lifetime to follow you moving forward.
Right.
This actually kind of lends into the topic of black men in the fourth quarter.
Right, because of the mindset and the change.
But we're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna leave that alone because we can really get into that. But another reason why this is an important topic to talk about is that I think with this day and age, people are really starting to be more open for big change, whether it be in their career, whether it be in their personal life with moves, and different things. I think relationships, definitely in relationships.
Yep.
And so we just have to understand that we envision ourselves at a young age. There was plateaus of change. I know for me, a kid that grew up in the projects, and then went on to be blessed enough to have anything that I wanted as a kid. There was plateaus of change in my life that I knew as a young kid that was going to be the basis and the foundation of what the rest of my life was going to look like. As a kid, you just envision yourself having the things that other kids have. And then as you grow into adulthood, you envision yourself in being comfortable in life, possibly going to school, if you're involved in any kind of community or sports. And then once you get through that stage of your life and get into adulthood, we were ingrained in, the idea of what the American dream was a family, a home, a good job, and the abundance of that stuff. But then, once you get older and wiser, you understand that it's not about that. It's about having the ability to control your time.
Okay.
Being able to do things in your life that might not ever benefit you, but it'll benefit the people that's coming after you. And I think that's where we, especially as a black community, where we need to start really kind of processing that thought at an earlier age. Also kind of goes along with the black men in the fourth quarter. And I think that's a fear. That's a fear for a lot of people, because if we can't see visually what that looks like, it's hard for us to step into the unknown.
That's right. It's very hard.
And having this platform is that's what I aim to do, is to put things out there and let people as a whole understand that comfort is a detriment to our future. Like being comfortable, comfortability is one of the worst things that you could be okay with in your life.
That's right.
And I'm gonna say this, and I know it's not a popular opinion. Where you are in life, especially if you're in bad situations, that is a choice. it might not be in agreement. I mean, people gonna get into talking about the economy and I don't have, minorities don't have the same access that everybody else has, and it takes this to be able to do this. It doesn't really. It doesn't. All of that stuff is excuses.
Okay.
Excuses and comfort will be your downfall. And the reason why I say that, example,
Okay.
I have been very adamant, and everybody that knows me knows, I've been very adamant about making this move to Thailand. And I'm not trying to push people to make that move to Thailand, but I'm pushing people to get out and see the world.
Yes.
And to understand that it doesn't take you to have to kill yourself and think that you're reaching goals of success here in the U.S. when if you took that same effort and put it somewhere else in another country where they appreciate your work ethic, where they appreciate, the contributions that you could give to wherever that is that you go, you'd understand that it's not an American dream. It's not. It's a world dream, which means that you can obtain that dream anywhere in the world.
Okay.
And they're making it even more difficult for us to obtain that here in the U.S. And what I challenge people is, look at what you do now. Imagine, and we're struggling. I mean, from the biggest to the smallest, we're struggling.
Right.
It's like Biggie said, more money, more problems. And if you're making money and you don't figure out the dynamics of how to keep it or grow your money, and it's not the stuff that everybody knows, it's that information that people that don't look like us know, and they're not so apt and willing to share that information. So it seems like every step and progression that you take here in the U.S. just means that you're taking on more, and it's really not progression. It's almost like running in place. You're moving, but you're not progressing. And so somebody like myself who's well-traveled around the world, I tell people, get out and see the world. If you see the world, it'll give you a perspective that we didn't grow up on. What we grew up here in the U.S. is that we had this perspective of the U.S. was here, this big conglomerate, the place where everybody wanted to be, and the rest of the world was down here. And that couldn't be more wrong. Once you get out and see the world, you understand that we're actually behind the 8 ball.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Oh yeah.
It's not going to change. It's not going to change. We are currently living in modern day slavery.
So when it'll change, but it's only going to change for those who make a change for themselves.
And you have to understand the changes that are coming. It's not going to benefit us. And so that's why you're hearing things like depopulation, and that's why you seeing more and more chemicals in our food that's causing more and more cancers and more and more dementia and all of these different things. Is like they can't openly depopulate, but they can make it to where over a short period of time we kill ourselves with the things that we have available to us.
Yeah, what's the best way to get away with genocide?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
Put it. Let people do it themselves. Let people do it. And what's crazy is we understand that. We understand how toxic our food and our environment is, and yet and still we are still okay with eating the things that we eat, and just doing the things that we're doing. Just knowing that we're killing ourselves. It hurts me to my heart to see a parent take their kids to Burger King and Taco Bell and McDonald's and all of these different things, and it's like that's some of the most toxic stuff that you could put in your body, and we're wondering why we have such a outbreak of childhood obesity, and even these kids are seeing the effects of this food because I don't know what the statistics are, but I'm sure it's probably higher now than it's ever been with the number of kids that are being affected with cancer and all of these and all of these different fatal diseases. And we don't get it. And so that's why, for me, I'm such a big lobbyist to get people to get out and see the world. And it's not as expensive as people think it is. You stop buying a couple pair of tennis shoes. You stop shopping on Amazon, for a couple months, and start putting in a savings and travel and see the world.
See, Tim, you're going into a danger zone there, because people. I'm not saying not all people, but a lot of people will go crazy if they can't go get that cup of coffee. So
look, I'd stop. Y'all stop seeing the Starbucks coffee. I make my own coffee at home now.
That mushroom coffee.
Yeah, that was digging in my pockets. But I'm saying that to say that it's not something that is going to change overnight. But what I am trying to do is expose the excuses. You no longer have an excuse for staying here and living in and waddling in your desperation. That is a choice that you make.
That's that fear.
That's what this conversation is about, is like you got to stop with the excuses. Well, especially when I talk about, people moving to foreign countries. Well, I'm just not comfortable with what's going on there. Did you just see the earthquake? Did you just see, the fire? Did you just see they had a mass shooting? Hello?
Yeah.
Do you even pay attention to our news? We have a mass shooting at least once a week. The ground moves in California at least 3 or 4 times a week. Malibu is literally falling into the water.
Wow.
Like, no joke, bro. Like, you go to Malibu, you look at these houses that they were literally back away from the cliffs. Like, they actually had backyards and it went into the cliff. Now, their patio is right at the edge of the cliff.
Whoa.
When you walk the streets in Malibu, the streets are breaking up.
See.
Like, literally, Malibu area along that coastline is literally falling.
Is that the
off?
Is that the pre?
Yeah. What they talked about 15, 20 years ago, where they're talking about Arizona being beachfront property because California is going to fall into the water. It's happening, bro. Like, it's happening. Then we talk about the wildfires. We're talking about this climate change because now they have the ability to cloud seed. And a lot of people don't understand what cloud seed is. They have the ability to send devices into the clouds to control the weather.
Okay.
And we're wondering why we're having unseasonably warm weather, why winters are more mild lately, while in wintertime, there's been times where places like Chicago and New York has had better weather than Arizona.
I was hearing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in the summer.
Yeah, because I was wondering how in the world is Chicago having better weather than Arizona? I was like, that's crazy.
Because they have figured out how to tamper with the weather. You wonder why a lot of these cities are flooding. It's because they're controlling the weather. You look at what happened in California. California will have the Olympics there in a few years. When is it?
Mm,
It's next year, ain't it? Is it
The Olympic-
2026?
26 or 20.
Whenever the Olympics is.
Yeah.
Isn't it just weird how where they plan the sites for the Olympics was that area that caught on fire and is now leveled?
Mm. Is it?
Well, whenever the Olympics is. And then, you know, the fires that happened in Hawaii,
Yep.
that was planned development. Like it's just
They have U.S. Olympics in 28.
28. Yeah, that's right. And it's just the times are changing. They are trying to control as much as they possibly can. And if we don't adapt to this change, we're going to get left behind.
But we got to understand the other side of fear. Okay. Yes, fear does bring anxiety. Fear does bring discomfort. Fear does bring irritation and all that. But also, fear also brings a good change for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it does bring that point of knowing that, okay, if I do succeed in this, that risk that I'm taking is going to be overwhelmingly good for me. You know, so yeah.
There is no reward without risk. There is no, and you can almost say the greater the risk, the greater the reward.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to take a risk, you can guarantee that I'm going to always bet on me. I'm not going to risk something that I value on somebody else. But if it means that I have to go out and take risks for my family to have a better life and for my children to have a better future, even if I'm not around, I'm going to take that risk.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest problem too, is that we're thinking so much about self and we're not thinking about the people that's coming after us, our children, our grandchildren. And we got to understand what we do now determines what kind of life our kids will live. And that's where we have to start taking these risks.
But when we take those risks, I mean, it's good to take small steps instead of like giant leaps.
No.
Because
I'll just Floyd. We've had like one or two disagreements, but I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I'm gonna let you finish your point, then I'm gonna tell you why.
Well, because the one thing about it is that at some point in life, you have to understand that those small steps leads to greater things in life. So taking big leaps at that beginning stage of life is not going to help you because you ain't going to learn anything.
So, you done?
Yeah.
What age are you talking about taking small steps?
Just from day one.
What's the time frame on those small steps?
There is no time frame.
So the message that you're sending out to people is start at an early age taking small steps. That's the problem that we have in our society, especially in the Black community, is we are taking small steps. Small steps aren't risk. Those aren't risk at all.
Well, for some people,
you're not taking, by me taking small steps is not a risk at all. And when you talk about taking small steps, you're also talking about the time frame in the reward for your small steps will be over a long period of time. And sometimes you just got to walk to that edge and just take that leap. It's got to be that leap.
So you're saying just jump out of the boat?
You got to. Like the Bible says, God doesn't give us a spirit of fear. Taking small steps is basically fear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And understand, I'm not saying just blindly go into something and just jump. But what I'm saying is that I use the analogy like I'm a wussy when it comes to getting in cold water. It's a process for me. I'll put a toe in, then I'll put an ankle in, then I'll put a high thigh in,
See, that's that slow step.
and
That's
then
small
once
step.
that
Small step.
thigh get in, but I'm a prove a point. I'm a prove a point. And then once you get that upper thigh in and you get past the private area and you get that in, that is where you really feel the change, is when you get to that waist.
Yeah, it is.
And then the other part is like you got to get that bare stomach and that bare chest in. Once you get that in, you're good. But the better process for that is to just jump in.
Okay. I'm gonna take that same one. Now, let's get into a cold plunge. That same analogy.
You have to do it the same way.
Just jump right in.
Just get in.
But then if you jump right in, that's gonna shock your body to the stream of the core.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. The way you get into a cold plunge is different. The way you get into regular cold water is that because it's so cold, you want to gradually get you're not gonna put a pinky toe in. You're not gonna do the same thing that I talk. You'll put your feet in and you'll gradually sit in slowly,
right,
submerging your body. But that's what I'm talking about. That's for somebody that will do a cold plunge, which I never will. We could just go ahead and get that out the way.
It's good for you.
I know Floyd was saying that, and
man.
he was a little subtle jab at me, but you've just with anything in life, you just gotta once you decide to do something, you've got to just do it. You've got to do it. Like it's it kind of. Well, it not kind of, but goes back to my brand, Failure Brand. Is people think that failure and success is opposite, and it's not. Failure is the steps that you take to success. You can't get to success without your failures. And you fearing failure means that you're not ready for success. If you think failure is scary, wait till you get to success and have to maintain it.
Oh, man.
The hardest thing is not getting to success. The hardest thing is maintaining success. And because when you're at the failure stage and you working your way up, you're not going to have the same obstacles that you have when you're successful and you're trying to maintain that.
Right.
It looks different. And I'm going to give you an example. Look at our high-profile people, athletes, people in the entertainment industry. How difficult of a life do you think it is where you can't just go to the grocery store, where you can't just jump in your car and just go anywhere you want to go? How difficult is it to have to figure out everybody you talk to has an objective with the conversation with you or being around you? So now you have to be guarded because you probably have already, once you get to this point, you probably have already experienced, the backstabbing, the people using you, your phone blowing up for people that are wanting things.
Yep.
And people are so quick to judge high profile people, and they have no idea what that life is like.
Right.
Just the trust issues alone. Being able to be comfortable with somebody around you that you trust. And I'm not saying that I've experienced it, but I've been around it for 20, 30 years.
Right.
Around it. And it sucks, bro. It sucks if you're an outgoing person and you can't go out and be yourself and let your hair down and like I said, run to the grocery store or go to Foot Locker and grab some shoes, and now everything has to go to somebody, or you got to have security with you. And you got to report to everybody where you're going to be.
I mean, I've noticed some people, some VIPs, and I noticed some of them get to the point of wanting that experience, wanting that life back. Even though they're out there doing their thing, they're regular Joes just like everybody else. But the thing is, though, is that they just in that spotlight. Okay, and so they want to go out there. They want to go grocery shopping. They want to go to the mall. They want to go buy them shoes. They want to do all those things like we all do, you know. But the thing is, like you said, you know, they get attacked. I mean, I don't go up to people because that's not my thing, you know. But I mean, I'm around it. Yeah, that's not me. But anyway, but yeah, they just want that regular life, just like everybody else. But they just know they're on a higher playing field because their status.
And that's why it's so important when people are trying to reach the goal of being successful is you have to understand what you're asking for and what comes with that. And so when you're at that failure stage where you're working your way to success, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about the people around you. You're going to, especially when you talk about people believing in you, when you're at that failure stage and you're trying to climb that ladder of success, you'll see the people that really believe in you. You'll see, you'll figure out the people that you can trust, because they're going to expose who they are, because they're not going to be around when you're going through that struggle. But soon as you hit that success, now everybody that didn't believe in you, that if you were in business, that didn't want to buy anything from you, didn't want to support you, didn't want to help push whatever it was products you had, that, you know, they exposed themselves during that time. But then when you reach success, there's a whole different category of people that are around you. And it's going to be people that have things that are going to approach you, because they're going to feel like that's their way in. And so I'm saying that to say that the fear that you have at the failure stage working your way up, if you have that fear right now, I don't think you'll ever be ready for success. Success is the scariest thing that you can do. And you got to understand, like, we're not talking about success is we've categorized it in the Western world and in the world period. Success is money, cars, houses, and the abundance of all of that. The more you have, the more successful people think you are. And it's really not that at all. It's really not that at all.
No, it's not.
That's just, because if you look at that, then you got to also look at the people that have obtained all of those things in a wrongful manner. So that can't be the judge of success.
Everybody has their own opinion of
Yeah.
what success is.
And the right success is a mindset. Success is a mindset. It's not the obtaining of material possessions. Because like I said, you've had people that obtained material possessions the wrong way. That doesn't make them successful. It doesn't. I don't care how you spin it. It's what people think about you. It's how you make people feel when you walk in a room. What are people going to say about you long after you're gone, when you have nothing else but your legacy? What are people going to say about that? What are people going to say about your human interaction? What are people going to say about what you did in the community? What are people going to say about you just being a good human? That is success.
Right.
And
That's,
so
that's also legacy.
yeah. So we can't fear taking those leaps, because there's so much riding on us. Like, everything I do in life is not about me. It's about people that's coming after me. And we have to have that mindset and that perspective, because it really is what it is. Like, the things that I'm doing now, bro, I probably never will see the benefits of it before I die. I'll see the remnants of the what I'm putting forward, but I really won't see the effectiveness of what I'm doing, because it won't really take change until after I'm gone.
Right.
Because everything that I'm doing is about legacy.
That's what it is.
And so that's why, when it comes to taking those leads, when it comes to, if I'm being specific, making those moves out of the country, I for the life of me, if you are here in the U.S. and you're struggling, that is a choice. And I'm just going to put it in numbers, and I'm going to talk about the places that I've been. If you can make $2,000 or $3,000 a month, you can live in Colombia comfortably. You can live in a DR comfortably. You can live in Panama comfortably. You can live in Belize comfortably. You can live in Thailand comfortably. There's so many places where you can live and your dollar goes so far. If you make $3,000 a month here, you are struggling bad. You're struggling bad. And it doesn't make sense that you allow yourself to do that, trying to obtain the American dream. And the American dream is the biggest facade ever. Home ownership is a farce. You will never own a home. The more money equity you get in your home, the more it's taxed. You're going to always pay property tax. You're going to always pay some kind of state tax. You're going to always pay federal tax. Not to mention all your money is taxed at the same time you're being taxed on everything else. So the American dream is a farce. It's a facade. It's a mirage that we were fed growing up because they wanted us to buy into this corrupt system. And we think that is success. And it's not. It's not. Open up a business in Africa. Open up a business in a lot of these places are paying people to move there and start families and start businesses. Why stay somewhere where you're not wanted?
I have a friend. He just started building a apartment complex. It's like like a duplex, four of them. In Cuba.
Yeah.
And right over there, it's like right there by the military base. Well, military airport.
Yeah.
Right over there.
And the other thing is I try to encourage people to do is find out about your heritage. Find out about where you're from. Because once you find out about where your heritage is and where you're from, you'll understand that you're not rooted in America. Like this is nobody is from here. We were bought here. We were bought here. We were the first ones here, but we were bought here and we came here. Find out what your roots are. It may be time for us to go back home.
They just say go back where you came from.
It may be time for us to go back, where we're from, because we're not going to get our just dues. We're not going to get the reparations that we so want America to give us. They're not going to give it to us, period. So why continue to ask for things that you're never going to get?
So we're asking people to give us something that they should be wanting to give, but then at the same time, they're not even from here either.
No. You're asking people to give you something based on the fact that you were an original here, and you're asking someone from a foreign country to give you what's rightfully yours. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We have to be smarter and wiser, and sometimes, like Kenny Rogers say, you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them, you got to know when to walk away, and you got to know when to run. We got to make that move. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody tuning in today. I hope something we said struck a nerve in a positive way and was motivational and inspirational for you to consider some of these things, man, because I don't like seeing people suffer in silence, suffer publicly, especially when you have means to really make yourself a quality life in other places. And that doesn't make you less of American when you decide that you want to move, you're not running. It's sometimes when you've done all that you can do, sometimes it's time to move on to the next thing. And I know for me, I say that jokingly that I'm halfway there in my life. And for me, I need this next half of my life to look better than the first half. And I understand that I'm not going to get that here. And so that's why it's a need for me to get that life somewhere where I'm appreciated, somewhere that's going to give me the opportunity to grow, both spiritually, physically, emotionally. And it's not here. And we have to understand that it's going to get worse before it gets better. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, I hope something we said was inspirational and motivational for you. And this is strictly our opinions. We're not saying that this is Bible and that this is the majority of how everybody else thinks. These are our own experiences. These are our own truths. These are our own opinions. Take them for what it's worth, but we hope it sparks something in you to think about your future, think about your legacy. And if that's the case, then we've done our job. We appreciate everybody tuning in from all the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Yes, sir.
We just love and appreciate the fact that you guys can come in and give us your time, the one commodity that's you can't replace and you can't get back once it's gone. So how we end all shows, love, peace, and soul.
Take your shoes off at the door, yeah, we getting real. Talking all the things they say you shouldn't feel. From locker room truths to capitalized, that you secret to the questions schools discuss.